Welcome to the Phantom Zone.
I try to join the X-Men, but I think they're maybe racist. Just because I'm human, they don't want my help. It seems it doesn't really matter if your superpowers firing through the belt. I tried to join the Justice League, but Batman was a douche to me. And Black Canary wouldn't tell me hi. And Classic Man just threw a middle finger that was 30 stories high. I got a message from the great Lakes Avengers. They offered me a mission.
Hello and welcome to And Now Comics. I am joined by the diseased John and John combo. Hopefully Ryan comes out of his corona coma.
We're continuing the absolute tradition of keeping this show classy and not tasteless.
It's the end of the world, and I feel fine.
Oh, speaking of the devil, and Ryan Fritz is here.
Hello.
Guys, I think what we all need to do is head to the Winchester, have a pint, wait for this whole thing to blow over.
I've actually been sick like all day.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh no. Fuck, my bad.
Oh no, I didn't like die, so like there's that.
I'm not dead.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
you're
not dead.
You're just canceled like everything else right now.
Yeah.
Guys,
Which-
2020 is canceled. Just want to let you know, we are canceling this show. We are canceling the podcast because of
Yeah.
coronavirus fears, even though we all don't live in the same vicinity.
Yeah, basically, if you are a thing that had 20 or more people coming to it, you're canceled right now.
Talk about
you-
cancel culture, am I right, fellas?
Oh, that was literally the name of the new...
You know, it would be amazing if like they found the cure and
Well,
Well, they find the cure, and Vin Diesel's going to immediately hit the start button on Fast 9.
oh man.
yeah, it got like pushed back like a
Yeah,
Yeah,
we could do a quick run through of everything that's been canceled since we were last on.
Number
you
one,
got pushed
everything.
back again.
so were we here with last time when they moved back the James Bond movie?
No, but that was the first big casualty.
Yeah,
It was
so they
that,
pushed,
and we thought Emerald City was going to be canceled, and they got canceled the next day.
so Bond got pushed back to November,
Which makes
which was
sense
supposed
because that's where it should have been in the first place.
maybe.
Bond movies do well in November. They usually
Yeah.
do solid numbers.
I think April was not like maybe a bad place for that because I feel like April's kind of like also been like a big kind of like
Pre-summer?
like pre-summer kind of temporally release for some stuff.
It's also like was a time when there wasn't a Marvel movie around it right now. Like this April, there wasn't going to be a Marvel movie like there. So
No, but I do still feel like November is a solid month considering, like, look, that's where the other Craig movies have opened, and that's where, like, even some of Brosnan's movies have opened, so I don't
And also,
feel
what are
like
you talking
November-
about? There was no other Marvel movies. Are we all of a sudden forgetting about New Mutants?
Yeah, it got
Okay.
pushed back again.
yeah.
Listen,
Uh,
that movie has become the doomsday clock of the Marvel movies, okay?
I'm still excited for it. When they announced like
I-
Loki,
Yeah, I'm still I was like heartbroken when I heard that they pushed that back today. Because like I was even joking about how so they also pushed back Fast and Furious 9 to next year.
All right,
Wait.
so let's just run really quickly because we're going to go over all these. Fast and Furious 9 got pushed back a year. Quiet Place 2 got pushed back indefinitely. Mulan
Which
got
was
pushed.
which was supposed to come out next week.
Yeah,
That's
That's a
like incredible
one.
to me.
yeah, that's a big
I wonder
one.
if like theaters have copies of it.
It's all
No,
digital
I will
now,
tell you,
so
I will tell you right now, having used to work in a movie theater, we don't get the copies until like the Tuesday or Wednesday before it comes out.
Okay. 'Cause-
The
and then-
Love-
sorry, go ahead.
good. The Lovebirds, which was supposed to come out the same day as the New Mutants, which was like a romantic comedy with Kumail Nanjiani, got pushed back. Which
Peter
I was like,
Rabbit
oh man,
2.
I was like, oh man, New Mutants got nothing else coming out against it.
Nope.
Yeah. And then Mulan got pushed back, which was supposed to come out next week or this week.
2 weeks.
So then
2
today,
weeks.
Disney announced that Mulan, New Mutants, and Antlers, which was like a horror film, were all pushed back.
From Scott Cooper and produced by Del Toro.
So
Peter Rabbit got pushed back to August. If anyone is a Peter Rabbit stan out there,
did they announce if the Olympics pushed back or not?
No.
no, that okay.
Sports-wise-
sports is everything.
Yeah. So the NCAA March Madness tournament is canceled. NBA and NHL seasons are suspended. MLB pushed their stuff back 2 months. The only-
speaking of NBA, I saw that. I saw
one more thing. XFL got suspended.
Yeah, it canceled the season. They canceled
they-
the season.
they canceled the season, and then they also said that they're going to pay all the players, which is like a lot more of a courteous thing that I imagine the WWE
Disney
would
said
never
the same
have done.
thing. Disney said, they're closing down, but they're going to pay all their workers.
That's nice.
Like this.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
sucks though. I was planning on going to an April game, but I didn't buy
But-
tickets yet. But
But I saw that video of that NBA player
touching all the mics.
and then it was announced the next day he had the coronavirus.
Yes. Yeah. Is the guy in the Utah
Dumbass.
Jazz was being a dick. He's like, "Oh, coronavirus! I'm going to touch all the reporters' mic," and then like 15 minutes before the game was supposed to start, they're like, "Oh, he tested positive," and they basically announced it in the arena, and we're like, "Everyone's safe. Go home."
I imagine
That's like that video of like the CDC woman talking about what not to do and touch your face, and then like 5 seconds after, she just touches her face.
Yeah, she licks her finger to
see,
turn the page.
every time I hear something like this, I just think of the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme just slowly
Yeah.
like playing
Yeah.
in the background. Or this.
As soon as they announced the NBA like season being like suspended, I was watching Space Jam during that whole CDC thing, and I was like, that's too perfectly well timed. And then all the NBA players just wearing gas masks.
I know I know a lot of friends who are Lakers fans who were pissed because it was the first time the Lakers made the playoffs in like a while.
Yeah. And then all the like every convention's like South by Southwest was canceled.
WonderCon was canceled today. Emerald City was canceled last week.
Cons is looking to get canceled. They haven't announced it yet, but it's like looking to get there. The Con Film Festival.
E3 got canceled.
SoccerCon's in a couple weeks.
To be fair,
they're like,
E3 getting canceled is not the biggest loss. All the publishers could just do a digital event.
So E3 is a month before AX, Anime Expo, and people are, I think pretty worried that AX is going to get canceled next, and because of E3. And I think, the writing on the wall for E3 had been there for like a while, and I feel like the coronavirus was like their like scapegoat to kind of gracefully bow out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's more like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know as much about it, but basically it was a lot of these things should have been canceled way earlier, I think, is from what I've been hearing and reading. And all these different conventions were kind of slow on the trigger, and it wasn't until like the big things started canceling that they finally jumped on it.
Yeah, what's not canceled quite yet is WrestleMania, and that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, that's because right now Vince McMahon has the monopoly on the sports entertainment.
That's not true. AEW is pretty great, man.
No, I mean that there's no other sports on. They're all suspended. There's really nothing.
Yeah.
See,
So,
Vince McMahon hears coronavirus and he thinks there's going to be a shortage of Corona worldwide.
so I don't think Vince McMahon drinks Corona. But I think it's just like very weird because like evidently there was a thing that came out today where the Tampa government is not forcing them to close down WrestleMania, that they're like letting WWE up to the decision of what they want to do, which
I think it would be up to the arena, wouldn't it?
well, so people are like, well, Vince McMahon's gotta like have like an empty arena for WrestleMania, or they gotta like push it back or blah blah blah. And I'm like, you think that Vince McMahon is gonna like shut down a major event because of the virus? Like, this is the same company that like ran an event in Saudi Arabia after that journalist was murdered, like a couple weeks afterwards.
Haven't they done another one too?
They have done 3 other events since then. Like, he'll do anything for a buck. Like, I like joked on Twitter that Vince is so shrewd that he would use the virus in some kind of gross story tactic.
Yeah,
where like a bad guy would infect one of the good guys with it.
Oh, my joke was he's gonna have like a Chinese wrestler in a mask that wears a crown called Corona. Called COVID.
You know what's going to happen? He's going to have all this happen, and he's going to have one of his wrestlers pop up with like fake muscles and say the coronavirus is mutated, and he's going to try to rip off the T virus or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think that will totally go on.
The real concern is how is Tom Hanks?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the first big casualty. That was or not casualty. Okay, bad choice of words. That was the first big upset. Like.
Yeah, him and his wife, Rita Wilson, are trapped in Australia because they were filming. They were starting filming on something, I think.
He's part of an Elvis biopic. He is not Elvis, I should point out right now.
I know.
But it's from the guy who made The New Great Gatsby and Moulin Rouge directing it.
Well, one of those is good.
Yes, I agree with you.
Oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? I know who he is.
Tom Hanks or Elvis Presley?
No, the director. Isn't he like French?
Baz
Baz
Luhrmann.
Luhrmann, yeah, Australian.
Yeah, Yeah,
Oh.
he did like Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, the DiCaprio one.
Yeah, Romeo. I'm sorry,
I-
Romeo plus Juliet.
I have a soft spot for that movie,
Yeah, that soundtrack is slaps. It's great.
and it's an interesting like concept. Like it's so weird and so 90s.
Oh, so wait, okay. I'm looking at the cast list for that Elvis movie. It's a news day, but I'm like going off track here. You know the guy? You ever see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Did everyone see that movie?
Not yet,
Not yet.
but I
Okay,
have
so
some time.
never-
I have some time on my hands
Yes.
coming up. So
I was gonna say you might.
I
have
want
a
to
little
catch
bit of
up
time
on
to kill.
all. Yeah, all my Netflix queue is going to be like destroyed at Amazon. I'm going to watch The Boys, Dracula,
Oh, I
The
used to
Boys
love
is
The
good.
Boys. I
because
used
they
to
just
watch The
Boys-
announced
Boys finally.
season 2 stuff. I think right?
They changed Stormfront because originally he was like a blonde neo-Nazi dude, but they changed him to a chick, which I'm not upset about that. It looks perfectly fine. But
that actually might play better too.
yeah, it looks so good. Like I was watching like the trailer behind the scenes of season 1, and it looks phenomenal. But it sucks because I work from home, so I don't get off due to Corona.
See, I'm just wondering now if like, and I was saying this before, and I don't think it'll happen. I'm wondering if like certain games will get delayed. Like
I don't. This
Doom probably
digital
won't
is
get delayed.
So good, and I actually think it'd be the opposite. Like with everyone being home, like it might actually benefit games.
Yeah,
Like,
I
Doom
ended
definitely
up
won't
just
be delayed.
I already pre-ordered like the deluxe edition of Doom, and I have Neo 2 coming out
Maybe
I have
tomorrow.
Doom, Last
7.
of Us, and Ghost of Tsushima coming.
There's like 5 games in the next 2 months that I'm getting, and it's like too expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'm sure like
I'm
all
like-
the subs.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm just excited for Resident Evil 3 remake.
Yeah, Resident Evil and Final Fantasy are within like the same 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think all the subscription services, including the comic ones, are probably gonna see an uptick because what else the fuck are you gonna do besides like watch all the streaming stuff or stream comic books or play video games? Like if you're stuck in your house.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're all gonna see like good upticks. It's really mostly hurting like
It's the film business.
the film business, anyone in like the service industry.
Yeah.
Because if you were like anybody who's like a part-time worker, like I was listening, I listened to like the ABC News podcast in the morning, and they were talking to someone who was the waitressing for South by Southwest like convention stuff, and she's like, yeah, we usually make like 3 months salary in like that week, and now we get none. And like that, those big cons, like that's gonna be like the economic stuff that's gonna fall out. Not to mention like all the sports stuff, like the people that work concessions and all that stuff at those events, like that's people that are gonna really hurt.
Yeah, San Francisco gets even more shitty because they don't have enough revenue to cover for like anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and everybody working at movie theaters, like if there's none of these movies are coming out, no one's going to the theater. So then
I was gonna say I am rather happy I don't work in a movie theater anymore.
oh, you'd be completely screwed. Like who the hell is gonna be there?
Would be between that and between the possibility of my school job getting shut down. Yeah, I'd be fucked.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
I saw Onward last week, and I was kind of surprised like there weren't more people there, and then I kind of didn't really dawn on me until later why people weren't there.
If I happen to miss that one in the theaters, I'll get it on Disney Plus.
Well, and then I watched Onward, and I'm like, oh yeah, this movie is kind of not good. Maybe that's why people aren't here.
Oh, boo!
oh, I kind of had some hopes for that one.
Yo.
But
Yo, that movie has that movie has an opening short, and it's a Simpsons short
Oh, that looks
Yeah.
funny.
that was so painfully bad. It's like
Oh,
no.
Olaf's Frozen
No.
Christmas bad.
Okay, hang on. I didn't hate that special, to be honest.
Olaf's
The,
Frozen Christmas?
I didn't hate it.
I watched it for maybe like 3 minutes, and I was just like, I hate this, and I like walked out of the theater, and then I like walked around for a little bit, and just kept on like looking and seeing like when it would end, and then like 15 minutes went by, and then I like looked at it, I'm like, oh cool, Coco's on, thank you.
best
The
movie
opening
ever.
short movie for the new Scooby-Doo movie is Blue. I forget his name. Dynamite. Blue Falcon
Blue
and
Falcon?
Dynamite.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
real talk.
What?
That movie looks great.
It does
Yeah.
look great. It's they retcon the story of Scooby-Doo a bit though, which I'm
Can I
not.
put it?
I mean, they've done that a lot, though. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
like
great,
aliens,
but-
it's kind of off.
Can I put in a request to do Scooby Apocalypse and tie into Scoob when that comes out?
It's maybe. It's
Okay.
really not a fun book.
Yeah, I would much rather us just watch Mystery Incorporated, the best Scooby Doo.
Oh my god, that show is fantastic, and I can also watch that if I'm home.
Oh, not like a pup named Scooby Doo.
That's
Lou, dead serious. Have you seen Mystery Incorporated?
No, I don't think I've seen any of the Scooby movies.
They have
Like,
references to Twin Peaks in this show.
oh,
Yeah.
what?
yeah.
Okay.
Velma's like thirsty like a lot for Shaggy. It's good.
Yeah, but
It's funny.
the
They have
real
references-
relationship is Velma and
Daphne?
Hot Dog Water.
How about Fred and Traps?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, they have references to like Babylonian mythology, Nibiru, Lovecraft, Saw, Nightmare on Elm
really?
Street, Twin Peaks. It's really, really good.
It's like a really good like kids version of Scooby Doo while also having like really neat horror themes and like doing like a lot of really fun stuff with the group dynamic that hasn't kind of really been done before. Like it's kind of like in the same school as like a Gravity Falls or an Infinity Train.
Yeah, and it's only two. So if you want to see it, there's enough to go like to watch.
Where, so besides Corona, it's kind of like a light news week.
It's funny because like I kind of think that there's a lot of like really kind of cool news that's come out over last week.
Yeah, but like one of the stories, I think it's like a kind of a, at least one of them will be like a big topic to talk about. But I'm interested in the one that you posted, the Dracula motherfucker.
So going back because there was some stuff that came out like last week to like after the show came out. John Layman and is going to bring back Chew, like the comic Chew, Chew, and it's going to be called Chew, Chu, and it's going to be like basically like a prequel of the original Chew, and it's going to be set in like a new city, and it's going to be about Tony, like the main character's sister. And yeah, has anyone here read Chew? Does anyone here know like the deal with Chew?
No, I have no idea what that is.
Okay, so Chew was like a 60-issue long image series set in a world where this bird flu basically like killed like 10% of the population. I forgot like essentially like what the amount of people, but it was a very large amount of people. And then it was found out that it was through people who ate chicken, so chicken becomes outlawed. And there's like the FDA becomes like a police branch of the government. And it's centered around this main character named Tony Chu, who is a clairvoyant where he can eat food and like know where it came from. So like if he eats like a hamburger, like he can eat the meat and know how the cow was treated before he was killed. Like he knows like this cow's life. And
I think I've seen that.
and the first like arc is this missing body or this missing person, and all that's like left behind is that he is like this finger, and so he like eats the finger to like know where this person was before the finger was severed. And it's like this weird comedy, like buddy comedy crime book about food, and it's like it ran for 60 issues. It was like before the first arc ended, like because the book like super blew up. Like it was like a big image, like #1. Like that book went for like a couple $100 for a while.
And I know the name.
And people were like, "Oh, like how long is this going to go?" He's like, "Oh, it's going to go for 60 issues. We have everything planned. We know where everything is going." And then you read that book, and it feels that way. Like everything's specifically planned. There's an issue in that book that like I think it was like issue. It was supposed to be issue 28, and it ended up being issue 38 that was released into stores, and it like took place like 10 issues later. And it was like planting seeds for things that's about to happen, or things that are about to happen like in the book, but like would spoil like things, and like it was such a cool idea. And that book is just like so like outside the box, like planning wise and narrative wise. Like yeah, that book is great, and I'm like very excited to see some continuation of Chew come back.
Cool.
That sounds kind of dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, if none of you have ever read Chew, like volume 1's like I think it's like one of those $10 like Image books. Like it's like one of those books that you'll read, you'll get like instantly like hooked because like it also has like a million really funny background gags. But yeah, so DC also announced that a new creative team is coming onto Wonder Woman. Mariko Tamaki and Mikhail Jansen. Mariko Tamaki is pretty cool. She's writer of like Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me, which came out last year, or This One Summer, which came out about 2 or 3 years ago. She did some stuff with Marvel, Ray and the Hulk. She wrote some other stuff with DC, Being Super, which was like a really cool Supergirl series. I think she just did like a Harley Quinn YA book for DC. And Mikhail Jansen, like, did some stuff with Grayson and Batman, and it's a really cool team coming onto Wonder Woman, and I guess their run starts in June.
Yeah, I'm interested in that because I am a fan of Wonder Woman, but like the current writing team, I haven't been like a fan of what they're doing.
Well, like, I feel like G. Willow Wilson was the writer for Wonder Woman, and then I checked out like a random issue, and she wasn't on it. Like, did she just like do an arc and then left?
I guess, yeah, like because there was like I can't remember when, but there was like a weird turning point in like the story, and then like it got like I don't know, like I kind of like when Wonder Woman's like dealing with like gods and shit all the time. Like I feel like that's kind of her wheelhouse and dealing with like her place in humanity, and then it kind of went away from that where she's just like kind of hitting stuff with a sword, and I was like, yeah, now I'm kind of bored.
Yeah. So let's see here. Oh,
I gotta say though, I look at this Dracula motherfucker title.
Yeah,
and,
that was the thing. I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say though, when I look at it, I think of you remember Dracula from Billy and Mandy. If you ever watched that show growing up.
Oh yes.
Dracula motherfucker.
Yeah.
So Image Comics announced a new book that'll be coming out in October, called Dracula, motherfucker! From Alex DeCampi and Erica Henderson. Alex DeCampi is like a really good low-key writer. She wrote Archie versus the Predator for Dark Horse, and No Mercy from Image, and Twisted Romance last year for Image. So she does like a lot of like pretty different kind of stuff, but horror is kind of her wheelhouse with like a kind of like a horror, not like super comedy focused, but like some comedy kind of like thrown in there. And then Erica Henderson, I think, is like one of the best artists out there. Did Incredible Squirrel Girl for like a really long time. Did Assassination last year, which I thought was super great.
Yeah, I loved Assassination. The art was awesome in it too.
But yeah, this is like a pulp horror graphic novel, so it's going to be like one whole thing. It's going to be told in between 2 different points. In Vienna, 1889, where Dracula's bride nails him to the bottom of his coffin, and Los Angeles, 1974, where an aging starlet decides to raise the stakes. Crime scene photographer Quince Harker is the only man who knows what's happened, but if anyone believes him, but will anyone believe him before he gets out linked in chalk himself? So, yeah, it looks cool, man. I'm really excited to see some of the art from it.
Are you looking through like the pages that they have previewed?
No.
This
looks good. The art, the colors look so good.
The cop on the one page looks like what's his name from Family Matters? Winslow, the dad.
Oh, he does.
That has to be like on purpose. Also,
oh my god, that's definitely Winslow. That is 100% Winslow.
You know, he's also in the original Die Hard movie. I believe he died a couple years ago.
No, he's still kicking.
You're thinking.
I think of Doctor. Am I thinking of
Uncle Phil?
Uncle Phil.
Yeah, they all look alike. What is wrong, man?
Oh,
they're large, they're large black men that have like that. What's that type of baldness where it's like they just have like the monk, not the monk thing, like the George Costanza, where they just
balding.
They have hair on the sides and the back of their head. For some reason, you just don't shave it all off.
They have hope.
But yeah, man, Dracula motherfucker looks really
looks rad. I love Assassination, so like, and I love the art in it, so I'm down for that.
I am like super surprised about this Shang-Chi book.
Yeah, so I guess there's going to be a new mini series to kind of help people get to know what the character is before the movie
Well-
comes out next year.
Yeah, and that makes
But like,
a lot of sense.
but like this team like ain't fucking around. Like this is like because like when I assumed that they were gonna like maybe do like a Shang-Chi mini, I would think like, oh, it's gonna be like some B or C listers or someone to kind of like fill in to do a book. But it's written by Jin Yoon Yang, who like just got done doing Superman Smashes the Klan, and wrote Superman for a little bit, wrote New Superman, like Eisner Award winning writer, and then the art is
Two different kinds of art styles.
well, like the art's Jim Chung, right?
No, it's Deke Ruan for the present day scenes and Philip Tan for the flashbacks.
Oh, and like, okay. When I saw this, it was
I think
Jim
it's Chung is doing the cover.
I thought Chung was doing the interiors. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, Philip Tan is okay. Who was the other artist?
Give me 1 second. Blah, 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 blah. Philip Tan, and then Deke Ruan or Dike Ruan for the present day scene.
I have to look and see.
Dikeruan.
But yeah, if I'm like remembering it right, Philip Tan did like Final Crisis Revelations, which was like a very rad book with some pretty bad art. Oh yeah. This guy is like not great, but Jin Yoon Yang writing is pretty good. Oh, and like I'm like looking at the other artists, like in some of his images on like Google. He looks good. Like those present day scenes will look really nice.
I'll be really curious to read it. It's a mini series, so it's nice that it's not like an ongoing.
Oh yeah, yeah, this should be cool. Like this looks like it's coming out in June. So
it gets people fresh. If people buy it, gets them fresh in their heads right before the movie comes out in February.
yeah. All right. What is Three Jokers? Because I kind of don't know.
All right. I know it. Does anybody else know it besides me?
So it's going to explore 3 different versions of the Joker.
Okay. Kind of.
Is it 3 actual different people?
Yeah, so this all stems from the Darkseid War that was in Rebirth when Batman.
How could we have forgotten the Darkseid War?
And Batman sits in the Mobius chair. And what is the question? He has 2 questions. The first is, who killed my parents? And it's Joe Chill. And then he goes, who is the Joker? And then the next scene is like, he's like looking at the back computer and he's like, it's 3 different images. And it's like, there's 3 different people.
So I forgot that Batman sat on the Mobius chair. And I'm just like, how many people have sat on the Mobius chair?
I think it's like 6.
Because I feel like it's musical chairs at this point.
Yeah, it's the Anti-Monitor, Mobius, Metron, Batman, I think Wally, but I think before Wally was Darkseid also sat on it.
I will have to point out that who was it? Where is it? Jason Fabok has described this as a spiritual sequel to the Alan Moore Boland Killing Joke.
Man.
Oh my god!
So you know what that means, kids. It means more. If they're gonna see that animated movie, be like, yes, give me that.
Yeah,
God, from what I can any worse than that animated movie.
Because from what I can remember, there are 3 Jokers were the Snyder Joker, so the death of the family, like the one that has like the face cut off. That's kind of our current Rebirth Joker. And then there's like the Alan Moore 80s Joker. That's like the one that kills Jason Todd and stuff.
Speaking of which, Jason Todd and Batgirl are going to be major characters in this story.
You don't say.
Yeah, and then the other one is like the Clown Prince of Crime, which is like the kind of pre-80s.
The 40s.
Joker. Yeah, basically, yeah. Like the whole Golden Age, like Silver Age Joker. That's the other one.
Also, it says Jeff Johns is writing this, I guess. He has said in the past this book is going to be in continuity despite it's under the Black Label line.
I assume just most things under Black Label that are like within the modern day of DC are continuity.
I mean, unless they're like a straight up Elseworlds, I would think they are. But I'm guessing it's Black Label because it's going to be like very graphically violent.
You don't say.
Is there going to be a weird threesome between Red Hood, Batgirl, and Batman?
Hey man, you don't know if Joker Dick is going to be flopping around at some point.
It's gonna shoot out confetti.
Oh man, that's real funny. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I imagine this book has been so late because they're like, well, we gotta get it all in the can at least.
Yeah, because I think like the rumor of this happened like right after that original book, which was what, like 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah, no, 4 years ago, 2016.
Oh my god, 4 years ago. So yeah, and they're like, oh, we're going to explain this, and they never got talked about again. And everyone's like, you can't just say that and not ever discuss it. And then they were like, no, we have plans. And
So
then,
have they said how long this is going to be? Like, is this a trade? Is this
No,
like
it's a 3-issue miniseries.
it took them how long to 3 issues? Like, look, man, I know that like good art takes time, and Jason Fabok is like, you know, good and all, but like this also just is like, man, maybe Jeff Johns shouldn't just be writing comics anymore, because it's like Doomsday Clock, the 3 Jokers, Shazam, they're all late.
yeah, well, the problem is like, why is he writing comics if he has like a bigger job at the company?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
Well-
he should just be writing the one book, and maybe
I
these
mean-
3 books should be tying into major properties or storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like looking at the exclusive interview from EW right now. Where is it? Goes back to the beginning when Batman first encountered the Joker, but it's also Killing Joke and A Death in the Family that speak to the book that we're building off emotionally. Barbara and Jason have gone through so much, as has Bruce, and it's really focused on healing, on scars, and what that does to somebody.
You know, but the
Okay,
thing
Jeff
about it
Johns.
is like Barbara has already like gone through it. It's like that's
Yeah.
the whole thing of her being Oracle is like her like overcoming like the trauma of the Joker and like finding herself again as like a person who could still help others. It's like, motherfucker, why do we? It's like DC has like this huge boner in them to continue to like drag her through the Killing Joke like every 5 years,
I think
and
it's
they
because
just cannot leave it alone.
I
Okay,
think it's
hang on,
because
hang
it's
on.
the only recognizable story to like Old Guard for Batgirl.
And it sucks. Like
I
it's
just
like
saw this, but there's a quote in this Entertainment Weekly thing where it says, Doomsday Clock suffered a few delays over the course of its run. No fucking shit. But
A
rest
few.
assured, the same will not happen to 3 Jokers.
Yeah, it's
Johns
only
and
3 issues.
Johns and Fabok purposely waited to schedule the series until they were finished with it so that fans won't get stuck waiting for months between issues.
yeah, because I mean it not only does it suck for fans, it sucks for comic book shops. Because like you know, it's like even the shop I was working at, or not working at, because I buying stuff from. It's, you know, Doomsday Clock #1 sold so well, and then by the time like the last issue came out, it's like, who cares? Because it's like 2 years. Wait, it's like all those like new fans that you could have had come in for Doomsday Clock. It's, you know, they were gone because like they didn't perform on the second or third
They
issue.
dicked around is what happened.
Yeah, 3 Jokers. How about that?
3 Jokers. I cannot wait.
I can't wait for the like the reveal of 3 Jokers that there's also 4 Lex Luthors. Like there's
Hey, don't you go spoiling the next 2 years of DC.
like there's a Lex Luthor who's like the business mogul, and then there's like the Lex Luthor who's president.
The
And there's
fat
the
one?
one Lex Luthor who has the red afro still.
Yeah, there's the Lex Luthor that stole 40 cakes.
I would like to laugh at this, but that literally the big Justice League story that was going on that Snyder did was all about Lex becoming like this what do they call it? The apex predator, like what humans were supposed to be, and humans and Martians weren't supposed to be two races.
Are you telling me that Lex Luthor became Randy Orton?
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that.
That he's basically like super tall and looks like a white Martian.
At some point did Lex Luthor like stab someone in the back like out of nowhere?
Oh, I guess you have not seen this design of him. It's
Of Lex?
yeah.
No.
Oh, I will pull up a picture.
Oh, I just realized, unrelated, but Superman Red Sun comes to Blu-ray next week.
Oh, I thought that was already out. Like I saw people
On
sharing,
digital,
like,
yes. On digital.
I saw some clip of Superman hitting on Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman's like, "Yeah, I have a wife," and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Huh. I'm really curious to see that movie. Like, I really hope that's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, after Hush and Killing Joke, I'm a little nervous.
I don't watch them, so you'll have to tell me.
Oh, okay. Hush
Hush is terrible. Like,
Hush is.
fucking
You
terrible.
want to talk about shitting the bed? Oh my god, Hush is bad. Do you care if I spoil it for you, Tyler?
I think we talked about it at one point because like they do the whole like Riddler reveal thing, but they do it like very badly.
Riddler is Hush.
Yeah.
I was angry. I remember sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck is the point?
Which I feel like is like, and this is like kind of like why I don't watch them anymore, because I feel like when they do adaptations of these comics, it's like they take the thing that's problematic about the old story, like the Killing Joke and Barbara Gordon, and the way they give her more agency as she fucks Batman. And in Hush, you know, this like the ending of Hush is like kind of like slapdashed kind of together, where it's like the Riddler is like the one who's like doing everything, and it's kind of like what it ends on like a super flat note, I think. And so in Hush, the cartoon, it sounds like, oh, like yeah, you know what, you're right, like that we like Hush and the Riddler are these two separate characters, but like their goals are different, and like how does this all connect to everything else? So, like, why don't we just make Riddler the Hush, and like that's how we fix it? And it's like, no, like matter of fact, that makes it worse.
Yeah, because it completely negates the whole interesting aspect of Hush as a character, that he's like reverse Batman in like many ways. Like he's bad Batman, at least.
His
Yeah,
dad.
I mean, and you know, and Tommy Elliott's like another, like he's like another character from Bruce Wayne's past who ends up becoming a bad guy, like a Dr. Simon Hurt. But you know, I think there's like a lot of upswing on a character like Tommy Elliott that, you know, DC kind of never really tried to capitalize on in like a good way. So who knows?
There are some interesting stories, but I would say like I think the William Hurt stuff was good. Having just read it recently.
Okay. Remember when Scott Snyder revealed Thomas Wayne Jr. and then he never showed up again?
See, and I actually like that reveal too in that. And I was like, oh, this is a great idea. It's like, it never made sense why Owlman is Thomas Wayne and not Bruce Wayne. Why would that be? Also, why would the super rich family not name their first son after the father? That's what these people do. And yeah, I don't know why that. I'm guessing he was told to drop that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think he came back. I think he came back one other time for a hot second.
I guarantee you the reason why they dropped it is because they brought back Thomas Wayne.
That makes sense. But then that could have been a good story between the three of them.
But it's like you have like too many like.
Well, they did have that. They had the whole Damian Wayne, Bruce, and then Thomas. The whole I think if they added another character that three, it would have made things too much.
Yeah, but it could have been an interesting, like, another level of, like, if you took Damien out of the mix, like, a level of betrayal of, like, learning that Thomas is actually Thomas, and not that character was just a crazy person.
What is this? This character looks like someone. This Apex version of
Lex?
Lex? Like, he looks like someone. But I'm forgetting who.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I'm, like, trying to think.
Like,
it looks like a weird Silver Surfer kind of thing.
Why does it look like he has like Colossus's like metal on his like arms?
Wait,
I'm like,
so because he's not. It's not like skin. He has like Martian abilities.
So is Lex a bad guy again?
Yes, like Lex is the most bad guy now. He got rid of all his money and gave shit to every supervillain. That was the whole year of the villain.
It's my favorite thing about comics is they have a thing, then they change that thing goes back to the other thing.
Yeah, he found the god that made the multiverse, who's the evil god, and humans and Martians were supposed to be one race. So he absorbed the Martian Manhunter and became this.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I feel like when people explain to me like stories of the Ring, I'm like, is this what it's like when I'm like explaining X-Men?
Yeah, I guess it's like super convoluted, and the only interesting part of it is how it's ended, which is that he won, and then the story just got dropped. Like, they're saying like at some other point it's going to pick up, but yeah, the hero's lost.
So basically, Old Man Logan.
I think you mean Batman at the what is that post-apocalyptic book at Edge of the
Wasteland?
Universe? Yeah, last days
Speaking
Gotham.
of Old Man Logan, has anyone been reading the new books they've been making off of that? The Avengers, by any chance?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Let me pull up the title. It's actually pretty good. It's after like they sent Old Man Logan back to the future. Well, spoilers. That was bound to happen. Yeah, it's just It's hard to say because they have a new Cap, and it's basically Doctor Doom taking over. Well, he's like killing everyone at this point. He's just tired with humanity. He's just wiping everyone out. Danny Cage. Does anyone care if I like say who the characters are or?
Yeah, it's Luke Cage's daughter.
Yeah, Luke Cage's daughter is Thor now. She has the hammer, and it's like it's.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So she's Luke Cage and Jessica Jones's daughter has Thor's hammer. So is she like the most powerful being in existence?
You know?
No.
So I was gonna say because they're doing this in Captain Marvel, where Captain Marvel like went into the future, and like Luke Cage's and Jessica Jones' daughter is like the new Captain America. And
in this book, it's kind of different. They have a Cap. It's one of Doctor Doom basically figures out the super soldier serum, and he has two Caps basically, and one just like decides to like be good and just decapitate the other Captain America, and is on the run. And he joins up with like Danny Cage and like the other heroes that were in hiding, and they remake like the Avengers. Like they have a Hulk, which is I think it's the Hulk's grandson.
What's the name of this book?
Avengers of the Wastelands. It's on issue 3 right now. The last issue came out yesterday.
Huh.
I'll definitely have to check it out because kind of in a tie-in, I've read, which I do definitely want to talk about, Fantastic Four, X-Men. But
you mean the issue where everyone found out that Scott and Emma do BDSM? Yes.
that is not the issue where you find out, because that I feel like that's just like a throwback to Morrison era.
I mean, that's what I found out, but that's just me. Maybe I'm just behind in my comics, that's why.
Which that book, I like. All right, we can start there. That book is interesting. I like how they're kind of dealing with this because basically, Cyclops like calls the Fantastic Four. And it's like, yeah, so we don't have your kids. I don't know where they are. It's like, who wouldn't tell us if you had them? It's like, no, I would. You're still their parents. And he's
so basically, like, also the setup for this book is that the X-Men are trying to court Franklin Richards onto Krakoa, and the Richards family is like, we don't want our son going onto this strange island where
Orgy Island. Yeah.
And like basically like the big reveal at the end of the first issue is that like leading up to it. Yeah, so Franklin's powers are becoming influctuated, and no one kind of really seems to know what's going on. That's why, the mutants want him to go to Krakoa so they can figure it out on their own. And Reed and Sue want him to stay there. But then it's like revealed that Reed has put an inhibitor on Franklin's powers. And like it's even like more poignant because like Franklin and Ben are having this conversation about like how Reed just can't seem to fix either of them.
Yeah, it's like, oh, do you think he even wants to? He's the smartest man ever.
Yeah, and it's like you find out that Reed's been doing this really shitty thing. And of course, Ben is like, hey, dude, what the hell?
Even like everyone basically looks at him and was like, are you fucking serious? Because Franklin goes to run through the Krakoan portal and he goes right through and he's like, what the fuck? Yeah, and basically Reed's, I don't think repressing his powers. I think he like masked his mutant gene.
Yeah.
So that he couldn't use them.
Catherine and Franklin and Valeria basically abscond
Franklin
Catherine
and Valeria
leaves.
sneak on the Marauder.
Yeah, sneak on the Marauder, and they get captured by Dr. Doom. And then and issue 2 is just basically Catherine, Doom, Franklin, and Valeria just hanging out. And I love Valeria and Doom.
Yeah, because she just is like, can you stop with the stuff and tell us what's actually going on here, Uncle Doom?
Yeah, she calls him Uncle Doom, and Doom's just like, oh man, I remember why I really like you.
Yeah, and Sue is like at a 15, like she's just fucking flipping out. And what sends her over the edge is Cyclops kind of makes a comment like, well, Franklin kind of could stay here, but not Valeria. It's like, because she's not one of us, so we wouldn't let like a human run around on our island.
Yeah, and this is the first comic where I kind of feel like the X-Men suck, and I'm not really sure if I like that. And and that's not to say like also the Fantastic Four are totally not in the wrong, because I think Reed Richards is super in the wrong, and I feel like, while Sue is like very protective of her kids, I feel like everyone's just acting like very irrational, and Scott acts like a real dickhead. And
Well, it's Scott. It was bound to happen.
but yeah, like in a way that I feel like reading him in X-Men, it's like this just seems very different from like what I think he would like, how he would like come about this conversation.
Which is weird because like he is actually kind of being the only calming influence in the conversation, and it's just like sticking his foot in his mouth. Like he didn't have to, like he's trying to be like, look, if we had your kids, we would totally give Valeria back. Like we don't want her, and that's kind of like, oh, because you're better than us as is. Like it's like a weird kind of turning. It's like, oh, like now that the mutants are doing their own thing, like you can call them racist when your humans have been that way this whole time. It's interesting. Like I don't know. I guess I didn't think Cyclops came off as shitty as you, but
I mean, like I wasn't like, he was like a monster, but I was just like, there were like better ways of phrasing things.
Oh yes, but I do like that. Like Magneto's like, is this going to be a problem? Scott's like, yeah, it is. And basically everyone's like, oh, what do we do? It's like, well, they're probably already on their goddamn way here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Scott, Emma, Nightcrawler, Xavier, Magneto. And they're like, yeah, we have no idea what to do. And Magneto's like, oh, but I'm just like, we have all these mutants. It's like, yeah, but Reed Richards is the smartest goddamn man on the planet. Like, he could do anything. And with Sue, they could be. And Nightcrawler, like, looks around. And Magneto's like, oh, shit, they're actually probably already in the room. And that's when they find Thing. And he fucking knocks out Magneto. But I do like they're in their goofy suits. And they're like, oh, basically the real powerhouse of the team is Sue. Which I thought was interesting. Yeah.
She's always been like, I think like people kind of forget about that sometimes, but yeah, she's pretty great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like it is interesting. I do like kind of the way the book ends, where like Doom is like, yeah, like I'm gonna fix your powers. Everybody is fine. I'll fix his powers, and then you guys can go.
He's totally gonna steal his powers. That's like, it's Doom.
Well, the ending thing they show is that he has like Doombot Sentinels. Is like the end of it, so it's gonna be interesting to see what Doom is. But it all like he does also say like since he helped Kitty in the past, like he knows more about her powers than even she knows because he turned them off, I guess, while they're on the island. So it's gonna be interesting to see where this story goes. I like the idea of like this is like the way for the mutant kind of continuity to interact with the rest of the like the Marvel continuity. Because has it at all besides this?
Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of the first thing.
So what else? So I'm caught up on I think all the other X-Men books right now.
Yeah, the other one that came out, the new
none
one,
of them because I'm waiting for like a chance where they're all kind of collected. Because going issue by issue is a lot.
Yeah, the new one was Cable that came out this week.
Oh, I actually didn't read that book. I didn't read Cable or Wolverine because I wasn't going to spend $8 on a Wolverine book.
I did not read Wolverine, but I read Cable. Cable's interesting because it's the kind of looks like a soft kickoff to what we talked about last week, the Ten of Swords.
Oh, okay.
Because first it starts off with an interesting thing where mutants can go one-on-one in like an arena, and Silver Samurai is the referee, and you can bet on it. So it opens with Cable fighting Wolverine.
Okay. Is it the pit where like the Crucible happens?
Yeah, it's the same pit.
Oh man, that okay.
It's called the Quarry. Yeah.
The Quarry. Yeah. The last issue of X-Men was incredible.
Oh, it was so good. I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but now that you've read it, yeah, it's such a good idea.
Yeah. Well, and it's also just like very dense and like it's like also it's like man like Hickman's like doing like this 3D like 7D chess kind of thing where it's like he's addressing concerns that you have as a reader towards certain ideas, and then also presents to you like 5 other ideas that you probably didn't even think about.
Yeah, like in this book, it's interesting because it's like a sporting arena, and there's even people dressed up like a sports team. Let's say like Logan, and they're dressed up like Wolverine as like fans. But they show like, oh, everybody's done good except like Magic got DQ'd in her fight against Gorgon. And they give a list of who like fought who, which is interesting because there's been one draw and one DQ. Magic got DQ'd. Well, like
DQ'd against you.
Gorgon.
Huh.
Nightcrawler and Blink tied. It was a draw.
Oh, that's funny.
And then one Cuckoo fought another Cuckoo. Rogue fought Havoc. Magma fought Firestarter. M, which I guess is Magneto.
Monet.
Monet fought Bishop. Wolfsbane fought Pyro. Dazzler fought Jubilee. Leech fought Artie. Callisto fought Pyro. Callisto fought Fish. And Callisto fought Jumbo Carnation.
So it's just basically all the people fighting other people who have the same powers.
Yes.
It's like that one episode of X-Men, the animated series, when they just started fighting X-Force.
Yeah,
Havoc and Cyclops just blasting each other and nothing happens.
Yeah, so what's funny is that, like, so there's, like, this kid, and what's his name? His name is Fauna, and he gets lost, and Cable's like, oh, he's going to go on a double date with Pixie and Armor. And it gets interrupted, and the kid's like, oh, the thing is hurt. It's this giant lion thing. It's like, and the Pixie, like, does stuff to the kid, and now he sees it all as Muppets, which is really funny. But he tries like, oh, it's her.
Okay.
And basically this thing has a lion thing has a thing in its toe, and Cable and Armor are able to like Armor holds up the foot while Cable pulls up the thing, and it's the fucking Buster Sword.
Okay, I'll read Cable.
You just hear the Sephiroth theme in the background.
Oh, but no, he grabs it, electricity happens, and then he has a vision. And this is where the tie-in, which based on the art, I'm pretty sure is for Rom the Knight, like the Space Knight, which I believe like Marvel owns, right?
Marvel owns the Dire Race and everything surrounding Rom, but they do not own Rom.
Okay, well, they look like Rom, so they're definitely that race. And that is who had this sword, and this thing killed it. And then we see other ones, and he's like, oh, the old guy's thing was guns. My thing's I was one of the big fucking sword. And then the end reveals that another character is back from the dead. Which I don't know if you want spoilers. Because it's literally the last page.
No,
I'll go read it.
Again, I still need to read the majority of the runs of these comics.
Yeah.
Of them, I would say like X-Men, Marauders are like definitely like the two that are like definitely worth like kind of checking out and reading first.
New Mutants has been pretty good, but I like one side more than the other. I like the people that stayed on Earth, which got addressed in their book this week too.
And then like X-Force, like it's fine. I don't know, man. Like it's not really lighting my world on fire.
I'm trying to remember who's on the X-Force team.
Domino and Sage.
Oh, that one. Well, that's dealing with like the humans thing. Although I did like the last issue of that with her and Colossus had discussing their trauma. And she's like, when they bring me back, don't make them make me forget. Like, I want to remember.
Yeah, and I really like Colossus and Domino as a couple. Like, that's the thing that they've had them together for a while now, off and on. And I really like that pairing.
Yeah. And I kind of like the idea that now that they're finally going with the book is that, like, oh, there's like her powers are all jacked up because they basically took all those pieces and they've made like a shit ton of like Domino clones.
Mm-hmm. But like we're like 8 issues in on X-Force and we still kind of don't know about the big villains of the X-Force like shadow group, and it's like we've already like kind of figured out who are the villains of like the other books, or like kind of like what's going on, and like X-Force I'm just kind of like not really sure where we're going.
Yeah, I kind of don't know what's going on with Excalibur now. Like, they had that one story, and then I don't really know where they're going now.
It actually reminds me I need to get caught up on Excalibur. I have, like, the issues. That's, like, the one book I actually haven't gotten caught up on.
Yeah, so, I don't know. All those X books are pretty good, though. I don't think there's one that's, like, bad that I've read. Fallen Angels was the one that was, like, the short one that was, like, you could really just not even...
Did we talk about straight... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, unless you really care about that character.
Yeah. Did we talk about Strange Adventures last week?
No, I have not read it yet.
I heard it's out.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like, you know, it kind of scratches that same itch as Mr. Miracle or The Vision, or all the other Tom King books. It's got like Mitch Garage doing like all the modern day art, and then Evan Doc Shaner does like all of the in the past stuff. But at first I was just kind of like, oh, like this is like kind of taking some of the themes of Tom King's Sheriff of Babylon and kind of like repurposing it for, Strange Adventures of a character dealing with his past, and maybe a war that he fought may have not been the war that, he was told, kind of thing. And it's like him coming back home and, dealing with it kind of idea. But then I was like listening to a podcast this week and they brought up that Strange Adventures kind of hits the same themes as Mark Russell's The Flintstones. And now I can't get it out of my head because it's kind of exactly correct. But I mean, this is going to be like 12 issues. Maybe I'm not like super sold on it yet because I don't know Adam Strange as much as I know about Mr. Miracle and Barda.
Yeah, he's
So like
kind of a pulp character within the DC universe.
Yeah, he's basically just
He's like Buck Rogers.
yeah. I was gonna say Flash Gordon, but that wasn't correct.
Yeah, I think Buck Rogers is the one that's like the man out of time, right?
I don't know, man.
And like an alien world.
I don't know any of those. I kind of know only
it's all those like 50s things.
But like the basics of the story is that Adam Strange on Earth is selling his memoir, Strange Adventures, about being, being transported to Earth to the planet Rand, saving Rand from these invading aliens, and marrying his wife and blah blah blah. And during his book tour, he meets up with someone who basically is like, you're a monster, like everything you've written in here is a lie, like how dare you, like, the race that you destroyed were peaceful and blah blah blah. And this person ends up being found dead, and so everyone just like looks at Adam Strange or like, did you murder this guy? And Adam Strange hires a detective to basically like figure out like, what happened to this guy, what happened to his past, like, like what's kind of going on, and basically unframe him. And that's like, I don't know. I think it's like nice that the detective is not Batman. Like the detective that shows up is a really cool character that hasn't been used in a while, and I think deserves like his kind of like moment in the sun, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, like, it's another Tom King book. There's not like kind of much more you can say other than it's like, yeah, it's good, but it's like you're kind of like waiting for that moment to like click to be like, oh, this is great.
I definitely am going to check it out though. It's interesting.
Yeah, I definitely need to check that out at some point.
So I think we just about covered everything.
Yeah, it's a slow news week. They announced the Avengers campus at California Adventure is going to be sometime in July, with Tom Holland on the Spider-Man ride as the voice.
So they say.
So they say, obviously, because Disneyland's closed right now. The writer of the all-time classic Amazing Spider-Man 2 is making a Spider-Man spin-off because, the last time worked out so well.
I mean, he's written other things.
I know, but I think, terms of Spider-Man is what I'm going with.
I mean, he's just doing a not yet named Marvel film for Sony. Like, it possibly could be something not Spider-Man related.
That's fair.
I mean, it could be Morbius related.
God, that movie. All the other movies get delayed, and yet Morbius is like, nope, we're still here.
Is it?
I mean, look, I don't want it, but I hate it.
So I guess we can close out though. Plugs.
I'm on Twitter, JamScott193, and I come with a personal message. Wash your damn hands.
You can find me at John JOHN _FN _Seiler SEILER. Where you can see me talk about work stuff. I'll probably be talking about Beastars all weekend because that comes on Netflix tomorrow. But when you hear this, it'll be
that weird anthropomorphic animal one?
Yep. That show is going to be super rad.
That show looks crazy.
The new season of The Kingdom starts tomorrow as well. So if you look for zombie horror, you can check that out.
You guys have all these like interesting weird shows, and I'm just like, Stargirl's on Disney Plus tomorrow. Maybe I'll watch that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Wait, on Disney Plus, or you mean?
Yep, Disney
DC?
Plus. No, different Stargirl. Stargirl.
I was very confused. Oh yeah, I saw a thing for that, an ad for that today.
So did I. Yeah. No, not that Stargirl.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts and leave 5-star review, tell a friend, blah, blah, blah. And come join the Phantom Zone. And we'll catch you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Wash your hands.
Wash your damn hands, folks. Stop buying toilet paper.
So I guess I'll join the Great Lakes of